Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking Below Deck, Season 9, Episode 10, The Smell of Sweat and Desperation. So if you're new here, welcome. If you've been with me, thanks for coming back. So much to talk about, you guys. We're going to just jump right into the episode. Last week was Christmas week, so I think I missed it. But I have a lot to say about this, and we are going to talk about it all. Before we do, I just want to say thank you all so much. My channel has really blown up lately, and it's all because of you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm starting a Patreon. I'm going to try to roll it out maybe this week if I can hustle. If not, it might be next week. But I'm going to recap Sex and the City, the original series. I've been doing a lot of And Just Like That coverage. A lot of people really like it. Well, we hate the show, but we like talking about it. And so anyway, if that's your jam, if you're into Sex and the City, please consider joining me for that. I'm going to keep the costs low. It just goes back into computer, sound, stuff like that. Nothing major. So just know that that's coming up. So look for that. And let's dive into the episode. So it's the first night of charter. Remember that Chelsea is the one with her jaw wired shut, because how could we forget? You guys, I haven't been able to talk about this. I yelled at my TV over the last episode. I'm going to be the a-hole here, right? And say, why in the world would you come on this charter with a chef like Rachel if you can't eat the food? I know it was probably pre-planned and she got into I think it was a bicycle accident and had to have her jaw wired shut. But seriously, what are we doing here? Isn't the whole purpose to eat and drink? And Chelsea just bugged me. She rubbed me the wrong way. Her husband was there. He was trying to be sweet and kept emphasizing that they don't want to eat until she's eaten. And I understand that she's kind of panicked about what she's going to eat. But again, I'd say take your asses home. Like, what are we doing? Why are you on this charter? It's just a lot. It's high maintenance. I'm not here for that. So remember that the interior is down Jessica, which she really wasn't there to begin with. Deck crew has kind of stepped up to try to help out. They're helping with this beach party they're going to have. After dinner, they're going to go to that silent dance party. It's a whole thing where basically they can't play music in front of the cameras, so they put on headphones and they just dance around. It sounds like fun, but for however much they're paying, this dinner really bothered me, right? Like, I just kept thinking about that too. Chelsea brought the whole mood down, and again, I know she was in an accident, but I'm sorry. If you decide to go, you just got to suck this up, no pun intended, because she's on an all-liquid diet, but you do. She's just messing it up for her friends. Her friends are bummed. They even say, don't be happy around her or whatever they were saying. Like, don't, because the one girl was trying to make the gong and they're like, no, don't do that. It's a tense dinner. I mean, this was a supersized episode. It was longer than the regular one by 15 minutes. And you guys, did we need to see all the food in the blender? It was kind of making me nauseous. If you didn't watch it, I'll spare you all the gory details, but in a nutshell, it had to do with meats and seafood and blender, and it was really quite disgusting. It really grossed me out. So after the dinner, they're all getting ready to go to the dance party. That one guest brought her broom, inexplicably. Sally, I don't know. Heather says that they've got to salvage this evening because the dinner, nobody was happy. And so this was their plan, to take them over, have cocktails, dancing, fire. Eddie brought him over in the tender. They turn on the music, and finally Heather says that they were able to rebound and have a good time. They all seem pretty happy about it, and hopefully that single-handedly saved the tip. So all the guests come back to the boat. It's about 11:45. Heather is back on the boat, and she talks to Rayna and just says, how are you doing? Rayna won't talk to her, just gives her a thumbs up. Rayna says, you just get a thumbs up after saying that word. So 1:06 a.m., they all go down the next morning. Everyone wakes up. Wes asks Rayna what was up with her last night. Rayna brings up the fingers in the food thing with Heather. So they played a playback. It looked like Heather pushed some food onto bread, and Rayna called her out for using her fingers. Eddie called Rayna out and says, chill, like, it's not that big of a deal. Wes wants to know why Rayna didn't care about the use of the word. Okay, let's talk about this for a second, you guys. I'm a recapper. This is hard to talk about. I just want to get your thoughts on this. I really do. Because I'm mixed, meaning there should never under any circumstance be that word. We all know this. That is crystal clear. That is 100% what I'm saying. Never ever use that word. Now, Wes made a very good point, what was it, an episode or two ago, where he pointed out that aside, Rayna she's had issues with a lot of the crew. And so I think his point was that, is she handling this all the right way? yes, she absolutely should be, and understandably upset about that word. We all get it. But by giving the silent treatment, is that the way to handle it? I'm just very curious your thoughts. I just see it as two separate things going on, right? We had, of course, you never ever say that word. There's no debate there. That's it. Okay. But separately from that, we have seen since the beginning of the charter season from Rayna push back whenever anybody told her what to do. She's pushed back. We saw it with Jake. We saw it with Eddie. We do see it even before this word incident. We saw it with Heather when Heather asked her to help out. I believe it was serving stuff. We have seen some pushback from Rayna. So this is where Heather sucks. She clearly said something terrible and took the Brandy Redmond approach, where instead of actually apologizing and talking it through, she doesn't understand why Rayna's being mad and runs off crying a bunch and kind of spirals. We kind of see that going on there. Meanwhile, the deck crew is doing this. Jake made me laugh because I'm a 12-year-old boy sometimes with my sense of humor, and that whole scene kind of cracked me up. You guys, my cold still sucks. That's why I sound like this. I feel like I'm losing my voice again, so I'm going to push through. So Heather just bugs the crap out of me, and this is, again, where I want your input in the comments. What are your thoughts on Heather? Should she be fired? Besides the word incident, just her personality, I feel like it's gone downhill. I feel like she's slipping as well. We see it later in the episode, which we'll talk about. Captain Lee, I know I sound like I'm negative. I actually do like this crew. Captain Lee, I'm not a huge fan of. I love Rachel, but I say that about Captain Lee because, he just delivers these one-liners about lipstick on a pig and dragging his balls through a fence and whatever he's saying at the time. So I just feel like I don't really understand his purpose on the show. I'm ready to get Eddie or somebody like that in as a captain and move on from this. So it's dinner time. Rachel has asked Rayna to help her. So they only have the one Vitamix, and where this one, I'm sorry, it just cracks me up. They have to blend that girl's dinner. She insists on eating everything everybody else is eating in a blender. So Rayna's going to help her keep it clean and washed out and ready for dinner so she doesn't have another meltdown. Everybody's being seated. The captain is joining for dinner, so that always adds an element of pressure. And again, Rachel's doing great. I love her. Yeah, I know. I get a lot of comments about her foul mouth. It doesn't bother me at all. I just think she's hilarious. So it's a multi-course tasting menu. Again, that charter guest wants it in liquid form. Excuse me while I barf on my microphone. Rachel is trying to serve this dinner, and Heather, I don't know what's going on with Heather. Her head is just not in the game. She drops some sort of water pitcher, and she gets blood all over the place. She's having to clean it up. She disappears right when it's time to serve the food. Rachel's food is perfection, so it has to go out at a certain time, so everybody's kind of freaking out. Intense about the timing, and Heather's bleeding, and Rachel says somebody's head's not in the game, and she uses a lot of curse words there. So again, from dinner, this is where Heather really did bug me. I just feel like we saw her checking out, and it gets worse, tonight. What happens overnight, we'll talk about, but I understand completely why Rachel would be freaking out about this. I thought that salad looked so good. Only Rachel could do something like that, and I really want to eat all that. I want to try that pear. That looked delicious. So everybody was very happy with the food. And very complimentary, of course, because it's Rachel's cooking. Jake calls his fiancée Paris, and it's the first time we're seeing her. I thought she was stunning. Jake really, Jake can get whoever, apparently. Who does he remind me of? He reminds me of somebody that I cannot place. Like some actor or something. I can't think of who it is, and every time it bugs me. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of who it is. But it doesn't matter. Let me know in the comments, who does Jake remind you of? So Jake is texting his fiancée Paris and talking about a job offer in Miami. And I just wonder, why not bring her on the boat? That would add a whole new element of, first of all, I want to meet who's engaged to Jake. Second of all, I want to see how Rayna and Fraser handle this. I always say it wrong. It's not Fraser, it's Fraser. I know. how Fraser handles all this. I would be very curious to see. Plus, I just want to get to know what Paris is like. So Rachel serves this beautiful dinner with, I'm never gonna say it right, cloches, where you lift them up and the smell hits you, and I just want to eat that food so bad. We get more disgusting talk of the wired jaw with the cutters. I don't even want to talk about it. It's gross. It hit me the wrong way. I don't like it. Okay, so it's the next day, and Heather has completely screwed this up. Fraser is on late. She's supposed to be getting up to help the guests, of course, in the morning. And we saw her tossing and turning the night before. Apparently this Rayna stuff is really getting to her. That's the storyline. And I love Wes. I have a soft spot for him. I like his personality. I like that he's down to help. I like that he's kind of the voice of reason. And again, he was down to help. He just got on like making the guests drinks. Rayna was helping too. And they said he just basically started Googling how to make these drinks for the guests. And I kind of love that. He's trying to wake up Heather. He's trying to get up Fraser. You guys, Heather is just spiraling, and we can see it here. Okay, so the stupid cold is taking my voice again, so we're going to speed through this part because not much is going on. The guests are getting off the boat. Heather's texting her friend who was second stew under her. I believe her name was it Kylie? I wrote it down and now I can't find it. But she's texting her friend saying, hey, I'm going to pass your resume on to the captain. Because they still don't have somebody to replace Jessica. Well, we already see, not to jump ahead, we see in the preview this is going to create a big rift for Fraser. He has been second. He's been there with her. He doesn't like that she's bringing in a friend. Her point is, well, we've got somebody. You know, we've found somebody. It's a pair of hands. Just let them help. I get it. Of course, you want somebody there to help, but I get why Fraser would be pissed about this. You're bringing in a friend. She was a second stew before. He feels like there's the friend. He feels like he's being his job is threatened maybe. He's worked alongside her this whole time. He's worked so hard. And you know, this is kind of a slap in the face. I understand why he would take it like that. The captain had invited the guests to watch the docking. It looks like it's going to go really tough. They're having a lot of wind problems, but surprise, surprise, it all goes good. So the guests get off the boat. Rachel makes the primary some smoothies to take with her, which was a very thoughtful thing. They said that they had a wonderful time, and Chelsea thanks everybody for their patience, so that was cool that she at least acknowledged that. We see them cleaning the boat, and that's where Eddie says the title of the show, he smells like sweat and desperation, and then they go to their tip meeting. So they're all very excited because the tip ended up being $2,000 apiece, and they're all getting a day off. It's going to be a beach day with a boat. They get to take a catamaran out and have some drinks, play at the beach. It looked like a lot of fun. He tells them to get well rested because he plans on working their asses off. So Fraser specifically mentions getting time off the boat with Jake. He's excited about that. So the next day, it's this beautiful day. They're all going to have a beach day, a relaxed day, a drink hangout day, all that sort of thing. 30 minutes before they're about to leave, Heather decides she wants to have a chat with Rayna. So Rayna's annoyed because she's like, I just want to be left alone. But Heather really wants to clear the air before they go off and go drinking and spend the day together. She does apologize for what she said. She says it wasn't right. From the bottom of her heart, she's so sorry. She's not that person. Rayna says that she has to be distant and hopefully the walls can be broken. She appreciates the apology and that she wants to move forward in a positive direction. They hug it out. And you guys, when they hug, I don't know why the editors, whatever, cameramen decide to show this. We get to see Heather's butt cheeks when they hug it out. But this is, again, where I want to hear from you. What did you think of the apology? Did you think that it was sincere? What did you think of Rayna's reaction to the apology? What did you think of Heather's actual apology? Just all of it. I'm just very curious your thoughts. They each annoy me for their own reasons, but Rayna deserved the apology. I felt like it was wrong what Heather did. We'll leave it at that. Just curious about your thoughts in the comments below. So from here, it's all about the threesome. It is Rayna, Jake, and Fraser. They pal around together the whole time. We see lots of flirting. It was hard. It's hard to tell. I felt like maybe Fraser and Jake they kind of wanted a moment, and then Rayna was there a lot, but then we see what goes down with Rayna and Jake later, so apparently he wanted her there. So it's hard to say who was the third wheel, if there was one. They all seemed to be into each other. It was funny to watch everybody else's reaction to watching them. I would have been Rachel right here drinking, probably taking a nap, waking up saying, what the hell did I miss? We do see Heather talking to Rachel about her apology, and then they bump that up against Rayna saying she's not happy about the situation, and she didn't accept the apology, it sounds like. So there's definitely going to be friction going forward. Okay, and speaking of friction, we got Jake and Fraser out on a paddleboard, and for whatever reason, they have the camera mounted pointing straight at Jake's, I don't know how to say it nicely, taint? I don't know. And it was funny. They just kept switching to this camera angle over and over, and it was pretty funny to see. So they're out there drinking on paddleboards. Rayna, paddles up, and she is jealous. She's jealous. She wants to get in on the action. Fraser doesn't seem as into it. Jake's into it. So it's kind of, I'm sure that's going to flare up in just a matter of time. In fact, we see it flare up at the end of this episode. So while watching this all go down, Eddie has a brush with death. And by that, I mean he has the world's largest spider dangling over his head. I would have screamed. I would have run. I would have set the thing on fire, because that's not holy or natural. That frightens the hell out of me. So from here, they take their cars back over to the boat. Most of the crew is headed to bed. So Rayna climbs in bed with Jake, and Fraser goes off to find Jake to see what he's up to. And he sees them in bed together, and he goes to leave. Well, Rayna pulls Fraser back in the room, is like, no, come watch Norbit with us. So they all climb in bed together, and it's so awkward, you guys. It's Rayna reaching over, to me it looked like Rayna reaching over Fraser to, I don't know how to say that nicely, to pet Jake. So it was funny because Rachel was listening in on the door, and she was saying, oh, they're just watching a movie. It's innocent fun. But we got a treat from the camera showing that it was way more than that. Fraser kind of gets over it and he leaves. You guys, we fully see Rayna and Jake hooking up, right? So that's going to be an interesting work dynamic after that. Also, I felt so bad for Fraser, because who wants to be the one left out of the threesome, right? So he goes to sit alone on the back of the boat, and I felt for him because, he just wants to hook up with Jake, and he was trying. You guys, I'm so sorry. I'm losing my voice again. We're going to get through this. So the flash to next time, guests are on the boat. There's stuff going down between Fraser and Heather, because Heather's trying to get her friend on board. Fraser's not here for that. We find out one of the guests is allergic to shellfish, and there's shellfish all over the table. So Rachel's pissed because the primary sheets weren't conveyed right. I'm not sure if Heather's head wasn't in the game, or if the guest didn't write it down on the sheet right, or what happened. But looks like a big mess up, so we'll see what happens there. And that's it for the episode. So I'm very curious to know your thoughts. I'm curious to know about the Rayna Heather of it all. I'm curious to know what you think about the Jake Fraser of it all. If you think Heather sucks, like what your thoughts are about just all of it, just let me know. Again, I'm so sorry about my voice going out. I'm drinking hot tea. I'm trying to get rid of the stupid cold, but it's still hanging on. But anyway, okay. Thank you guys so much for everything. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, give this video a like. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It really does help my channel out. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.